Hey, what's happening YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm gonna be talking about DNS or domain name system. DNS is basically the phone book of the internet. We access information online through domain names like google.com, amazon.com, etc. Web browsers interact through IP addresses. DNS translates domain names into IP addresses so that web browsers can understand and be able to load the internet resources. The internet is made up of computers that are set in large networks around the world. These networks are connected by a web of underground and, in some cases, undersea wires. Computers on the internet communicate with each other using string of numbers called Internet Protocol or IP addresses. IP addresses functions like street addresses. They identify where a computer is located on the internet and help guide the information traveling between computers. It's one thing for computers to communicate using string of numbers, but imagine if we humans had to memorize these seemingly random string of numbers for every single website we wanted to find. Well, because of DNS, we don't have to. DNS translates the human-friendly domain names that we are comfortable using into IP addresses that computers need to communicate to one another. The process starts with you and your web browser. When you type a domain name into your web browser, your browser and computer determine if one of them already has the domain's related IP address in their memory. If it's a domain you've visited recently, your browser may have stored the domain name and its IP address in the memory and can display the website very fast. If the domain name is not hanging around the local memory, your computer takes the search out to the internet, where it queries a series of DNS servers if they have the domain name in their memory or database. The first DNS server that receives the query checks its memory for the domain name. If it doesn't find the domain name in the memory, it sends the query on the next DNS server to see if it can help. As soon as the domain name is found on the DNS server, the server returns the domain name and its associated IP address to the requesting DNS server. Once your computer has the IP address for the domain name, your browser knows where to find it on the internet. Your browser uses computer to communicate with the server where the domain name is hosted and request any associated files. The host server returns the files, we then display on the browser. Our ability to use domain names to quickly and easily retrieve websites and files from the internet is entirely dependent on this tightly integrated tiered line of communication. DNS is the most crucial part of the internet.